All right, so again, good evening to everybody and welcome. Today is August 11th, 2020. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the networking that we had going on. I'm Phil Santonzi again, Program Chair for ASQ Section 1510, Southeast Florida. Welcome to this monthly presentation in a virtual platform. If you'd like to know more about ASQ Southeast Florida Section 1510, please check out our site at the Communities tab of the myasq.org website. And you can also join our LinkedIn group, ASQ Southeast Florida Section 1510. Information is put up there about events and in fact the documents for for the PDFs and for the presentations and things will be posted there as well. Okay, so during this presentation, if you don't mind, please keep your audio muted until we open up for questions at the end. I'd like to introduce at this point Carolina De Leon, who's our section chair, and she has a few words of welcome. Go ahead, Carolina. Welcome to you too.
Thank you, Phil. Hi, everyone. Again, welcome to our August meeting. I'm very excited to hear from Chris White. I would like to say first that we have our scholarships open. So we do offer 2 scholarships for the school year. So those are open. If you'd like more information, you can go on our MySQ, and we'll send a blast email out as well to make sure everyone has all the information. But please go ahead and apply. That'd be great. If you have any students that you know of or children, anything like that, it'd be great to have some applicants. Also on that note, we also have a scholarship committee. We have, I believe, 1 spot taken up right now for that committee, but if anyone else is interested in reading applicant essays and grading scholarships, then you can reach out. You can reach out to me, or you can reach out to Phil, or go on our MyASQ and send us an email. Let us know you're interested, so that we can try to coordinate something. And it's kind of a first come, first serve basis, since we only need a few people. But just putting it out there that we would love to have some of your feedback in terms of who can get a scholarship for this section. Besides that, I think, again, it's great to have you all, and we will continue our monthly meetings virtually for a little while. So we will continue throughout September and et cetera. We used to take a break. So we would take a break, I think, July, August, but we decided that due to the pandemic, we might as well keep going. It's better to have some type of communication with everyone and put out some good content. So we hope you enjoy, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolina. Let's see, Mindy, do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
Yes, so we're looking for board members for our 2021 year for Section 1510. So if you're interested, please contact me via email at mindygross@bellsouth.net, which I'll go ahead and put in the chat. So thank you.
Thanks, Mindy. Any other board members have any announcements? Okay, so let's get to our speakers in the presentation then. The Entrepreneurial Operation System, EOS. I'd like to introduce first Chris White with Traction Florida. Entrepreneurship has been part of Chris's life since an early age, as he watched his father build 2 successful companies from scratch, embarking on his own journey in the business world. Over the years, he developed and strengthened his entrepreneurial skills through direct experience, keen observations, education, and a strong work ethic, all the while learning from his mistakes. He has worked in and founded several businesses over the years. Chris now dedicates his time to teaching the EOS model to business owners across the country. He facilitates and coaches business leaders to clarify, simplify, and achieve their visions. He works throughout the U.S., but makes his home in Central Florida to his wife, Darlene. I would also like to introduce our another speaker with Traction Florida, Dr. Adam Boudreaux. Adam started his professional life serving 9 years in the U.S. Air Force, which included 4 deployments in support of the first Gulf War and Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. In the military, Adam developed a passion for leadership and lifelong learning, earning a PhD in organizational development and leadership at UF. He has leveraged his knowledge in entrepreneurship managing organizational change and growth as a business coach and mentor to startups and small businesses across a variety of industries. Adam's introduction to the EOS was at Foresight Construction Group Incorporated, a key leader. He was a key leader in the firm's implementation of EOS. After Foresight's 400% growth, Adam, as president at 3D Solar, he pulled the firm from the brink of bankruptcy and positioned it for growth at 300% year over year. Adam is committed to helping businesses grow through executive coaching and leadership training programs with an intimate familiarity with EOS tools and processes. Adam's training and coaching integrates seamlessly with companies running EOS. He is a proud husband to his wife, Jen, and father to their 4 boys. Welcome, Chris, and welcome, Adam. Thank you both for being here tonight. About tonight's presentation, the EOS. It's a comprehensive system integrating a holistic business model with a complete set of simple tools and a proven process to align and synchronize all the pieces of the business to produce the wanted results. But rather take any more time to describe EOS, I'm going to leave it to our presenters to do that for us tonight. So Chris and Adam, take it away, please.
All right, thank you, Phil, for that great introduction. I'm gonna take over the screen and gonna bring up our presentation for tonight, and we'll get in present mode. All right, so we're gonna jump in, and I'm really, for the next 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes, you guys, first of all, I want you to sit back and relax. And I want you to think about how you could run your business, your department, your people in a different way. And if you can be open to that, I think you'll enjoy what I'm going to present to you tonight. Dr. Boudreaux and I will field all of your questions at the end of the presentation. So feel free to put them in the chat window, but just know that we'll answer as many questions as we can at the end of tonight. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. And so EOS does this. It boils your company down to 6 key components. So if you imagine you're looking at this wheel, and at the center of this wheel is a hub. Your business is the hub, the number is wheel, right? And that's it. We really do boil your company down to the 6 key components so that you can focus on strengthening those. Program is encapsulated in a New York best-selling book called Traction. I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years now. My parents built and sold 2 companies, so I grew up in that type of entrepreneurial household. My grandparents, both sides, emigrated from Ireland. One set landed in Canada, the other in Detroit. And my grandparents were entrepreneurs as well. So I think it was in my destiny, although I fought it for a little while. Here's my observation in all those years of watching entrepreneurs, and it's this. The really good ones stay focused. They don't allow themselves to get distracted, right? So I gotta move the Brady Bunch screen. There we go. All right, so here are the 6 key components: vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. So you can go around the wheel. Vision is at the top, people to the left, data to the right, issues bottom left, process bottom right, and traction on the bottom. Those are the 6 key components. So what I want to share with you guys is the EOS model, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Now, this system that I'm going to share with you guys, it is business agnostic. It does not matter what business you're in, how big or small you are, where you're located. Again, like a computer operating system, that's what EOS is. And I'm going to take you through, at a high level, the 6 components. So it really starts with everybody getting on the same page, right? Where we're going and how we're going to get there. That's your vision. Now, you can have a company vision, corporate division. You could be a part of a department, right? We're in data analytics, and we have a mission, right, Carolina, to execute. You and your team can help the company achieve its vision, right? So everything's lined up together. It's a shared vision, shared by everybody in the organization, top to bottom, corner to corner, okay? It's 100% everybody on the same page. The next component's the people component, and I don't know if you think these people are great people. I think they're great people. And Steve Jobs, who famously said he wanted to put a dent in the universe, I think these other three people did pretty darn good too, putting a dent in our universe, right? And here's the thing. If you really want to get stuff done and you want to execute, you got to surround yourself with great people, people who share your culture. And you know what your culture is at your company? It's your core values. It's who you are, how you behave. You'll attract the right kind of people to your organization with these core values. So we want to surround ourselves with great people who share our culture. So Carolina, this is your favorite, right? Data, you love data. Data is one of the 6 key components, you guys, because data is the new gold, the new oil, right? Everything is about data. Great leaders of companies, great managers of departments do it through data, through scorecards, KPIs. I'll come back to that in a minute if you don't know what a KPI is. When you start to get alignment in your company, your department, you will create transparency. So when you start all rowing in the same direction, getting the right people in the right seats, managing through data, the byproduct is transparency. And when you have transparency, there's nowhere to hide. And when there's nowhere to hide, I guarantee you, you will smoke out issues. Now, when you think of your individual companies that you all work for, anybody have issues? Yeah. No, Steve doesn't. Steve is master of his universe. I need Steve on my team. Dr. Boudreaux, can you work on him behind the scenes? We all have issues, guys. I hate to break it to you. We're human beings. We're all dysfunctional. We all have different opinions about politics and ego and religion and all that stuff, right? The problem is most people aren't good at solving their issues. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later. But the key here is you run towards your problems. You run towards your issues, your opportunities. You don't run away from them. You got to line them up, knock them down, make them go away forever. The next component, process. So Keenan and I had a little conversation earlier, and he's going for his MBA, and he wasn't sure if he should go to entrepreneurialism or process optimization. I forget the words he used, but process is one of the 6 key components of every business, right? When you have a business and you got people doing things their own way, we've all been around people, nothing gets done, it's confusing, it's aggravating. Process is the secret ingredient in business. The problem is most people, when they think process, they have to document everything. ISO 9001, right? No, I'm not talking ISO 9001. I'm talking identify your core processes. Start there, sales, marketing, ops, finance, customer service, HR. Capture the top 20% of that process, and I can show you how you'll get 80% understanding and compliance to those processes. And by having processes, you guys, and when you can get your processes followed, right? You got to train and enforce process, and then you get processes that end up being followed by all. When you get there, that's when you become more consistent. When you become more consistent, you start to win more. It puts you in a position to scale. You can do that to a company, you can do that to a department. The final component, the book, traction. It's where we bring your vision down to the ground and execute. There is a famous inventor who wintered in Fort Myers. Can anybody tell me who said this? Vision without traction is hallucination.
Edison?
Who? Thomas Edison. 100% right. Thomas Edison said that. Vision without traction is hallucination. Traction is about creating an environment for you and your people, your teams, to increase accountability and discipline, right? Really get good at solid execution. So when you pull these together, it creates the wheel. And that wheel is called EOS. It's the Entrepreneurial Operating System. You put your company in the middle, and those are the 6 key components that you have to focus on with your team to strengthen, so that ultimately you have a business that you're in control of instead of it controlling you. You are hopefully having more fun and ultimately more profitable. All right, so how do we get there? And that's all about the tools. So what I'm going to share with you guys is the 5 foundational tools that you actually, every one of you, could download from my website tonight and go use in your business tomorrow and never see me again. They're that easy. So let's go back to the vision component. And what does it take to strengthen the vision component? Well, the tool is called the VTO, the Vision Traction Organizer. Have any of you ever written a business plan? If you ever have, did you have fun? And if you said yes, I'm going to call you a liar. No, writing a business plan is no fun, you guys. It's a lot of labor. It's a lot of research, especially if you're going for money, right? We've fixed that. Most entrepreneurs do not write a business plan. They just shoot from the hip. They go with their gut. It's instinctual, what have you. And that works for a while, but it's not sustainable. So we have a tool called the Vision Traction Organizer that you can sit down with your team and develop your plan, right? So let's look at the components of this tool. So imagine you and your team working together, whether it's for the company or a department. It works both ways. And you define who you are, your core values. Now, do you guys have core values in your organizations? No, Maria Otero, do you have core values in your organization?
Sorry, I don't
Yes,
work
we
right
have.
now.
Okay, do you know your company's core values? Does anybody know their company core values?
Yes, respect, good communication. I don't remember the other ones, but we have it.
How many do you think you have?
I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Raheem, I see 5 right there. Raheem, can you name, just simple yes or no, can you name all 5 of your company's core values? Okay, so
No,
I've made my point. So here's my point, guys. That's what happens. Most people don't realize the strength of core values, okay? Now, respect, compassion, honesty. Those are cookie cutter core values. You and everybody else claims to have them, but they truly don't exist in your company. And how do I know that? Because none of you can tell me what your core values are. I take core values pretty seriously, as you can see, right? 3 to 5 on average, they define who you are, your culture, and you use them as a tool to attract the right kind of people. You're going to hire, fire, review, reward, and recognize through your company's core values. That's how you get the right people. Core focus is, so how many of you have a mission statement? Mission statements? Anybody got mission statements? So
Yes, we do.
Okay, how many paragraphs is it?
1 paragraph.
And
Very
can you
short.
recite it? Can you recite it to me? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Hey,
Raheem's already going like, hell no, don't call on me. Guess what, you guys? That's another problem. If you don't know what you're focused on, what are you doing, right? We call it core focus. We don't call it mission statement. Mission statements are gone. Multi-paragraph, fancy marketing words. Nobody remembers them or what they mean, right? That's not good. Because in a company, we should know who we are, our core values, and we should know what we're focused on. Our purpose, cause, and passion, along with our niche. Niche or niche, if you're from the UK, is the one thing you do better than anybody else, your product or service. When you combine your purpose, cause, and passion with your niche, the one thing you do the greatest at, you will dominate the universe. And Steve, I know you love that. 10-year target. Steve, I can't even get you to crack a smile. Come on. 10-year target. Big, hairy, audacious goal. What is the awe-inspiring thing we're trying to achieve in our company or our department? Got to articulate it. Marketing strategy, right? Who are your ideal clients? The filter is demographic, geographic, and psychographic. Who are they? Where are they? What do they think or value about your products or services? You have a 3-year picture, right? So you put a flag in the ground 3 years out. You're going to march to that flag. You're going to forecast in 3 years our revenue, our profit, what we're going to look like, who we're going to be in 3 years. You have to paint a picture so employees can see it. Then you got to bring it down to the ground where we get traction, and you create a plan. So 12/31/2020, we're going to do 25 million, 18% profit, and we're going to achieve 5 big goals this year. Once you lay out your company or departmental plan for the year, the way you actually execute it is by creating rocks. Rocks are 90-day priorities. There are 3 kinds of rocks: company, department, and individual. They're priorities. Stephen Covey, who's written a lot of business books, if you've ever heard of him, he coined the term rocks. And if you go onto YouTube, you can YouTube Stephen Covey rocks. And there's a nice little video there that he uses. Most people, when they come into work, check their email first, listen to voicemails, right? They do the easy stuff. What we do is we teach you, get laser focused on your priorities, and every day you start your day putting some time and effort towards your priority. Then you go work on other stuff. So it's about prioritization, right? All right, issues. So, but this is back to that comment I said, does anybody have issues? Of course, we all have issues. The problem is none of us are very good at solving them forever. So issues in EOS aren't just negative. They can also be positive. The issues list are a list of obstacles or barriers that might prevent you from growing, or might be an opportunity that we need to discuss. So the VTO is comprised of those 8 questions. You work with your team, answer the questions, you now have a business plan built by everybody, not just one person, the dictator pushing down. All right, the people component is all about getting the right structure and getting the right people in the right seats, okay? Have you guys heard of an organizational chart, an org chart? Everybody go like this. Yes, Chris. Yeah, I know you know what an org chart is. The picture on your screen, what does that look like? An org chart. Okay, it looks like, don't be afraid to participate, you guys. It looks like an org chart. It's a hierarchical structure of the core functions at the top of the company. It's called the C-suite. If you look below the dotted line, we call this function, this box, integrator. We don't use fancy titles, okay? We identify the seats in an accountability chart by the functional name. You build businesses and departments around function, not people. People come and go. How about titles? Anybody a fan of titles? I don't really care about titles. I care about what you do. I care about your roles, your responsibilities, the things that you're accountable for. So in our accountability chart, what is different from an org chart is this. Yes, it's a hierarchical structure, so it's structured the same as an org chart. Here's the major differences. You don't see any fancy titles, VP of this, VP of that, CMO, CTO, CFO, blah, blah, blah. You don't see any of that. What you see are functions. Now, the integrator is like your CEO, the person who runs the company. And then you have the main functions, sales and marketing, ops and finance. Inside those seats, you'll notice bullet points. Those bullet points are roles and responsibilities that make up 80% of what that seat focuses on every day. So the beauty of an accountability chart, you guys, is it gives clarity to everybody in the company, because everybody will be in there and you'll all see your top 5 or 6 major roles and responsibilities. There'll be no confusion. How do you know if you got the right people? So you heard me kind of lament on core values. Well, here I go again, core values. On this tool called the People Analyzer, this is a tool you use to make sure you have the right people in your company. Those are my core values across the top. Humbly confident, grow or die, help first, do the right thing, do what you say. The employees' names down the side, they're fictitious, but I'm going to explain the scoring to you. So once a quarter, we do what's called an employee conversation, quarterly conversation. And I'm going to score my direct reports against our core values using the People Analyzer. The scoring system is very simple. Plus, plus, minus, minus. A plus means that that employee represented that core value 80+% of the time. If you give them a minus, that means they behaved or demonstrated that core value less than 25% in the quarter, and a plus minus is somewhere in between. So when you apply these employees against my core values, Sally Jones is a rock star. She demonstrates all 5 core values 80+% of the time. I love it. John Smith is fired. He didn't make the cut. He doesn't get who we are. He doesn't get our culture. We're just not a good fit for him. That doesn't make John a bad guy. That just makes John a bad fit for my company, and I don't do bad fits. So John's out. George, on the other hand, is a plus minus. So what does that tell me? Well, as his direct report, it says I need to do my job better, because it's my responsibility to coach and mentor up my direct reports so that they're all pluses. So I'm going to have a conversation with George, and I'm going to say, let's put a 30-day action plan together. I'm going to help you. You're going to write it. I will help you. And we will carve out a 30-day action plan so George can work on turning plus minuses to pluses. Make sense? It's a real simple tool, guys. Our clients love this. They absolutely love this tool. All right. The rest of this will go a little faster. So the data component, guess what? Scorecard, dashboards. It's all about analytics. Here's the thing. You ever heard the term paralysis by analysis? Now, some of you guys probably love numbers. And heaven to you is printing out 100 spreadsheets and you can roll around in them. Oh God, you just love numbers, right? Yeah, that's not me. I have dyslexia, and those numbers on spreadsheets jump around and they drive me crazy. I have to look at a pie chart or a graph chart to make it work. But here's the beauty of having a scorecard for your company or your department. What gets measured gets done. Remember, it's about accountability. You create a scorecard of KPIs, key performance indicators. These are leading indicators, not lagging, and they will help you keep your finger on the pulse of your organization, and you will not be caught off guard or surprised because you're looking at your numbers once a week. If you're looking at days out or a quarter out, you are looking in the rearview mirror, and nothing you do can change what's already happened. So I'd rather put you in a position where you can forecast better and identify trends earlier so that you can go do the activity to turn things around before it's too late. All right, how are we doing on time, Phil?
Good. You've got 25 minutes if you need it.
All right, I'll go 10, maybe 15, then Dr.
Okay.
Boudreaux and I can take the questions. All right, so issues. So when I asked you guys if you had issues, you all kind of went, yeah, we got issues. My question to you is, what do you do with them? Do you leave them in your head and just file them away and ignore them? Or do they roll around in your head, but you just can't seem to take action? Or another priority comes up and you push that one to the side and you go do that. Listen, we've all behaved that way, right? But if you don't address your issues in an orderly and systematic and consistent fashion, your issues could be your downfall. So what we do is we teach you, get them out of your head, get them on a list, and there's just good karma in writing stuff out of your head onto paper. You will feel physically better if you do that, I promise you. Once you get them on a list, you have to apply this tool called IDS. You need to identify your issue at the root cause. Don't treat the symptom, go to the root and pull the whole thing out, right? So that we kill it forever. The problem with most leadership teams and departmental teams, they talk too much. You ever been in a meeting where people just go on, or people repeat what's already been said, and you're just wanting to die, like, get me out of here, right? Most people get stuck talking too much, and they don't focus on the more important thing, which is to solve the issue, create an action item, go do it, kill it forever. We show you how to break through the D so that you spend more time solving issues. Getting stuck in that discussion loop is a nightmare. So we teach you how to break through that so that you can get better at solving your issues, making them go away. All right, process component, secret ingredient. This is about documenting core processes, sales, marketing, ops, finance, HR, customer service. You could document any process in your organization. And your goal when you document process, you guys, should be that everybody follows the process. People doing it their own way only causes confusion, breakdown, and potentially even stoppage. So we need to document our processes using a simple rule, 20-80. Capture the top 20% of any given process. Put it on one page, no more than 2, in a checklist style format. And you couple that with an image of the process. Those are the 2 secret ingredients to train and enforce process. We learn better through imagery than we do numerals or letters on a page bulletized, right? Show people the process. So look behind me, you guys. You see that up there? That's my process. And there's 4 steps in my process. To successfully implement EOS into your business, make it part of your DNA, and you get to a point, you don't need me anymore. I am not a consultant. Not that a consultant's a bad word, but I'm not a consultant. I'm not a subject matter expert in any of your businesses. I'm a subject matter expert in EOS, right? And so I don't teach other stuff. I teach one thing. And process being one of the 6 key components is an area that I just truly fell in love with, because I am what's called a high quick start and a low fact finder. All right, it's an assessment called the Colby A index. I'm not defined by it because I'm a human and I'm growing every day, and our personalities are not permanent, but process is really key for me. It's what helps me be successful, and it's really a key component of any business. So highly encourage you, think about process, just keep it simple. Don't create a 1,000-page manual, because nobody will read it and no manager or leader will use it, right? If you can document any process on 1 or 2 pages, you'll get a higher rate of compliance from your employees. All right, traction, right? Remember when I said this is where we bring your vision down to the ground and we execute? The 2 ways that we create traction in your organization is, 1, every quarter, you and your team are going to decide your 3 to 6 most important priorities that you got to get done in the next 90 days. We call those rocks. They can be company rocks, they can be department rocks, they can be individual rocks. All rocks, doesn't matter which 3, are all due at the same time, at the end of the quarter. Rocks are what keep you guys focused. When you try to do too many things, multitasking, you don't do anything very well, and you get a percentage of stuff done. But if you focus on a smaller amount of the most important priorities, what you'll find is your completion percentages go up. So you guys know the old adage, when everything's important,
Nothing is important.
Nothing's important.
nothing is important. That's right. The next way that you create traction in your organization is to have a very productive weekly meeting. How many of you love meetings? Woo, we love, no, nobody? All right, I don't like meetings either. I don't, they're never run well. People are just jockeying for turf to thump their chest, or sales guys to tell us how great their pipeline is. Those aren't productive meetings. Great leaders, great managers, great teams, they set aside 90 precious minutes once a week to work on the business. You can't be in the business and work on the business at the same time. So a habit of great leaders and managers is they hit the pause button once a week. They come together as a team for 90 minutes, and they have what's called a level 10 meeting. Now, you guys, I'm telling you this right now, this is honest to God truth. Over 130 companies in 8 years, 25 years as an entrepreneur, and a guy who didn't like meetings, this is my favorite tool, and this is why it's my favorite tool. When you implement this tool into your department or your company, it automatically gives everybody in your company a platform to have a voice. Forget these little boxes mounted on walls. Put your idea in here. No, that's not proactive enough for me. I want to get people in a room, and I want to know what's working in my company, and I want to know what's not working in my company by the actual people who do the work, right? Because that's where you're going to get the best information. And the best way to gather that information is to give them permission to come together once a week, 90 minutes, and have a level 10 meeting. We call it a level 10 because on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, we want you to have the best meetings you can possibly have week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. The meeting's very simple. Starts with a segue. Good news, one personal, one professional. Tell me something from your personal life that you're excited or proud of, and then tell me something from your business life. That is the human connection we all need, you guys, especially now, right? We can't be belly to belly. Virtual is the next best thing, so we're rolling with it. And it's whether it's virtual or face-to-face, it's just good karma to start a meeting with good news. After that, you immediately go into reporting mode. Remember that scorecard we were talking about earlier? You and your team are going to look at your numbers, and those that are off goal or off track, we immediately drop it down to the issues list so we can talk about it. So remember, the scorecard, the weekly scorecard is designed for you to keep your finger on the pulse of your company or department and allow you to identify trends, like things that are going down, catch them early enough so you can turn it around, right? And get that hockey stick going. After scorecard, you're going to report on your rock once a week. Just tell me if you're on track or off track. Share some headlines from internal or external. And then to-dos. To-dos are 7-day action items. To-dos come from solving an issue. When you solve an issue, you create a 7-day to-do. Every week, 90% of your to-dos should be falling off of your list. And then IDS. You'll see IDS is 60 minutes. This is 60 minutes, you guys, where you get to work on your business or your department and solve your own issues, right? This is an opportunity to have a voice, to express your opinion on anything. You can say anything in this meeting, right? But you're there as a team to work together to solve your biggest issues that are either obstacles or barriers that prevent you from growing, or opportunities we should be talking about for the future of the organization. When there's 5 minutes left in the meeting, you stop wherever you are in the issues list and you conclude the meeting with a recap of the to-dos. So you read out the to-do title and the owner of the to-do. Any cascading messages, those are any items from within the meeting that need to be made public, cascading message. And then you rate your meeting, 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Every week you'll rate your meeting. So this is a top 2 tool. It's very easy to learn, very easy to follow, and it will probably have an immediate impact. Now, I will tell you this. When companies start to use this tool, the people fight it in the beginning, which is normal. But around their 3rd or 4th L10, which is about 30 days, they will fight for it, and you'll never be able to take the tool away from them. I've seen it happen 99.9% of the time. It's an amazing thing because we all want better meetings. All right, so when you pull it all together, you guys, this is EOS. EOS is the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it boils your organization down to 6 key components that you guys focus on to strengthen using the 5 foundational tools that I shared with you this evening, which are the VTO, the accountability chart, rocks, scorecard, level 10. Those are the 5 tools and the 6 key components of EOS. The tools are all downloadable. They're free on my website, and you can use them tomorrow if you're so inclined. All right, so that was the fire hose. And I'm seeing all your faces, so please don't be shy. Dr. Boudreaux and I are here to help first. It is our #1 core value, so please don't be shy. We're here to answer your questions. So I'll open it up for Q&A.
Thank you very much, Chris. That was great. So for as you heard Chris say, we will have Q&A now to try to minimize some of the confusion. If you have a question, just kind of indicate that in the chat, and I'll call on you. If you want to write your question in the chat and you want me to ask it, that's fine. You can do that as well. Does anybody have any questions to start with? Well, I've got a question then to start with. So Chris, on the accountability chart, as the tool of the accountability chart, I think about my own organization, and I see a lot of overlap between accountabilities in real people. So is it possible to do it well, to have one person fill more than one box?
Yeah, that's a great question. So here's the rule, and then I'll tell you the exception. So the rule is at the top of the accountability chart, the C-suite, the pictures that I showed you guys, the rule is this: you can have one name in multiple seats. You cannot have two names in one seat, otherwise you get this, right? So at the C-suite level, you can only have one person in multiple boxes. You cannot have two. Down a level, like in operations, right? Say we have an assembly line and I've got 50 riveters. I don't put 50 boxes in my accountability chart. I put one box, I call it riveters, and I put 50 names in it. That's how we keep things simple. Now, the little bonus part of that question, Phil, is if you're a person and you're wearing multiple hats, or if you're in multiple seats, I bet you're frustrated.
I would say
Right?
so. Yeah. Personal experience.
You're wearing multiple hats. You know, some people love that, right? Some people love that. I'm not one of those people, right? I need discipline. I need go this way, Chris, and do this, and I'll be the guy leading the charge. But the accountability chart is such a wonderful way to look at the structure of your company, because it gives you the opportunity to make things very clear. I mean, if you just hired a kid right out of high school to drive a forklift, he hasn't done, yesterday he was, you know, in his physics class, and today he's driving a forklift for me. He doesn't know anything about business yet, right? But I can sit him down and I can take him through the 5 foundational tools that I shared with you guys, and he'll have a pretty good understanding of my company's vision. He'll have a complete understanding of where he fits in the company, the accountability chart. He's going to understand how we're going to measure his success through KPIs. He's going to understand that he will have some priorities or rocks in a quarter, right? And he is going to be able to tell us what he thinks by attending an L10 meeting.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Hervé. Go ahead, Hervé.
All right, Chris, great presentation, by the way. I enjoyed it. I avoided answering a few of the questions, but now you're on the hot seat.
Yeah.
One of the things that I missed, or maybe I missed during your presentation, is the focus on the customer, the focus on the target market. What is it that we're after?
Oh, that's great. Thank you for asking that question, Hervé. So here it is. I'm going to boil down how to create a very simple entrepreneurial marketing strategy. And it starts first and foremost, Hervé, with what you said. Who's your client? Who is your ideal client, and how would you describe them, right? The way that we describe the ideal client is by using 3 filters. The first filter, demographic. Second filter, geographic. Third filter, psychographic. So let's go through those. Demographic, geographic, psychographic. Demographic tells me who they are. Geographic tells me where they are. Psychographic tells me what they think or value about my products and services, right? So if you think about, like, on my VTO marketing strategy, my ideal client are male and female entrepreneurial business owners of organizations that are 5 years or older, have 10 to 250 employees. They do about an average of 2 to 50 million in revenue in the state of Florida, and they feel stuck and frustrated and need help. So that's what's on my VTO right now. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, you did. And but what I failed to see it, where does it fit in the 5 tools that you presented?
So the marketing strategy is one of the 8 questions on the VTO, the Vision Traction Organizer. That's your business plan, and that's where marketing strategy is.
Okay, thanks.
You betcha.
Thank you. Let's see, any other questions? I have another question. So Chris, on the people analyzer, you talk about essentially behavior or performance against the values of the organization. How do skills fit into, or abilities or talent fit into any kind of people evaluation?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So we have another tool. It's not one of the 5 foundational tools, and that tool, WC. What that stands for is get it, want it, capacity, or capability to do it. So GWC is a filter, and the manager, when reviewing the managee, has to answer GWC as either yes or no. They get it or they don't get it. They want it or they don't want it. They have the capability or they don't. So when we dive into GWC, the G, when we talk about do they get it, what we really mean there is, do all the neurons in their brain, are they firing and connecting so much so that they fully understand their roles and responsibilities and their KPIs? Do they get it, right? Want it. Does that person wake up every morning, come into work wanting to execute their roles and responsibility, meeting their boss's expectations? Do they want it? And then get it, want it, and then capacity. So capacity is not limited to just hours in a day. Capacity also refers to, do you have the mental, the physical, the spiritual makeup to handle the stress of these roles and responsibilities? So GWC, Philip, is the tool that we tack on to the people analyzer to address that exact point that you brought up.
Well, Adam,
Okay, so I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Caroline.
So I have a leadership question. Chris made me think about it. What's the best way to address your concerns with your direct leader?
Great question.
Without them kind of retaliating, I guess.
That's a good one.
No, that's a phenomenal question. And that's part of the reason that we offer the leadership training as a part of an accompaniment to the EOS, because just like you're talking about, you're trying to manage upward. You're trying to get your manager to invest in the same priorities. Really, you boil it down to the key components of EOS as well. So it's data. And so you're using data to justify your reasoning, your problem, your issue, being transparent, and put yourself in their place. One of the things that I really, really stress to people is relational management, relational leadership. And by doing so, if you put yourself in their place, ask yourself, what would I want to know? So if Carolina was bringing this problem to me, what would you want to know of her? And how would you know it's a legitimate problem? Answer those questions for your boss, and you're going to lead them down a path that's going to help them make an accurate decision.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Great bosses encourage that kind of behavior, right? Because they realize if they don't, then it's just top-down management. But if, as a leader or manager, you open it up so that your direct reports can approach you about their performance, that's nirvana, right? Talk about a healthy environment when people let their guard down a little bit, or their politics and their egos, so that you could have that, because that's a tough conversation, right? If I tell my, right? But that's nirvana. When you can do that, you are absolutely showing what it takes to build vulnerability-based trust. Because that's what you need, vulnerability-based trust to build a team.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Adam, for the presentation and the Q&A. We appreciate you sharing that information about EOS with us and enlightening us about the whole process, the whole system.